Hey, it's Jay. Welcome back to Lavender Living. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some queer books that have POCs. Some of these are like love interests. Some of them are the main characters. Some of them are both. So yeah, let's just get into it. So Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. The main character, I can't remember her name, but she's black. And she's, I think, bisexual. But this is about her and her dealing with her brother's bipolar disorder. And she's also dealing with some unfinished business that she left back in New England where she went to school for a bit. This was really interesting to read because the bipolar representation, I read this before I was diagnosed with bipolar too. But she is black and she is queer. Belliet by Eva Daros has a main character who is Latina, and I think she said she's questioning but leaning towards bisexual. And then the love interest is, I believe he's black and he's demisexual. But this is about a girl who has sex with the boy for the first time and she ends up getting pregnant. And she kind of deals with that at the same time as falling for this guy. And there's a really interesting like family dynamic with her mother, and her grandma and stuff. And then this is just a really cute book, and I loved the love interest. The Brightsiders by Jen Wilde is about this band called the Brightsiders, and the lead singer, who is kind of just going through a lot, and she's queer as well, she's bisexual, but the person that is a person of color is this guy who's another member of the band. I can't remember his name. I want to say Ryan. And he is questioning, and he is Asian. He wasn't in the book a lot of it, but it was explicit that he was questioning. It's Not Like It's a Secret by Misa Sugira, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I'm sorry if it's very badly incorrect. But this is about this girl, I can't remember anyone's names, oh my god, who is Korean American, maybe full Korean, I don't remember, I'm sorry, but she's Korean, and she starts falling for this girl who is Mexican American, and they kind of become friends, and there's like familial struggles because of the culture and tradition and stuff. But this is a biracial couple that doesn't include a white person, so Korean and Mexican, and it was adorable. I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver follows a non-binary teenager named Ben who gets kicked out by their parents, and they have to go live with their sister. They start falling for this black guy named Nathan, who I believe the author said that he's bisexual. I can't remember if it's explicit in the book, but the author said that on Twitter. They just it's just like both their story, like senior year or whatever, and it's adorable and stressful. The Music of What Happens by Bill Koenigsberg. I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong because that is a really hard name. Is about this Latino boy who his and his mom are kind of struggling financially, and so they kind of revamp the food truck that his dad used to run, and this white boy who like needs a summer job, and so they start working together, they become friends, they kind of start this romance. The book was okay, but Latino boy with white boy. We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia is a dystopian feminist book that deals with women's roles in society and like patriarchy and stuff. And like their girls go to this academy, and half of them turn into like lovers for important guys who would produce heirs and stuff, and then the other half are trained to become like the business part of, like to do the business part of relationship, like with foreign relations and stuff. But this takes place, I forget which Latin country, but both of all the characters are Latinx, and the two girls are Latinx in a relationship. Ship It by Britta London is about conventions and fandoms and stuff. I've talked about this book in the past in other videos and how it's kind of problematic and stuff for multiple reasons, mainly because one of the main characters like terrorizes a showrunner, and because one of the queer girls like outs the other queer girl, which is just really stupid. but I guess what do you expect from a writer from Riverdale? But this is the representation here is a queer girl, and then the other girl is black, maybe Afro-Latinx, I'm not sure, but she's definitely black, and homo-romantic pansexual. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan is an Asian-inspired high fantasy book that deals with like the caste system and I think feminism and stuff. I started doing it months ago and I didn't really get very far. I need to finish it. I say this in almost every video that this book is included in, but it's Asian inspired, it's female, and there's magic. Let's Talk About Love by Claire Can is a new adult novel that follows this girl named Alice, who is a black, biromantic, asexual woman, and I love her. But this just follows her and like dealing with coming to terms with her asexuality, and there's therapy, which is really good. Not like conversion therapy, but like just regular talking therapy to like deal with your emotions and stuff. And she is black and her love interest is Japanese, I believe. But yeah, this was really cute and I really like the representation in this. Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. The main girl, I believe her name is Frances, is black and biracial. I think black and white, but I'm not 100% sure. She has this podcast she likes to listen to, and she lives near the guy who like does it, who created the podcast and stuff, and so she kind of fangirls over that, and especially after she gets commissioned to do artwork. And there's like a mystery and stuff, there's queer representation of multiple kinds, and yeah. Sawkill Girls is a feminist thriller, kind of horror, kind of fantasy, and it follows 3 girls on this island who kind of are terrorized and have to track down this monster that has gone around like kidnapping and killing girls for years. But one of the main girls is black and she is on the asexual spectrum. I always forget what it is. I always forget if it's asexual or demisexual or what. But she is in a relationship with a white boy, but she personally is black. The Noburo Girls by Amy Reed is a feminist book that follows these 3 girls who are trying to avenge this one girl who was raped and who was ostracized by her community. I think it's like in a religious town or something, but yeah, it deals with religion and stuff. There's a girl with Asperger's disease, there's a fat girl, and then there's a queer Latinx girl. I think she's a lesbian, but she's Mexican, and she is one of my favorite characters in this book, honestly. I love her. But she gets in a relationship with this white girl, but again, she is Mexican. And the last book I have is Anger is a Gift by Marco Shiro. This book I haven't finished. Again, every time I started it, I got a little bit farther than the time before, but I haven't finished it because every time I see it, I'm like, oh right, it's a big book with small text. But this has to do with like Black Lives Matter and PTSD, but the main character Moss is black and gay, and from what I know about this, it's just dealing with like his father's death, I think with police brutality, so of course there's like, a lot of trigger warnings for this book, and I feel like he first with this one guy, but I don't know if it goes any farther because I haven't read much of the book, and I can't remember what ethnicity the other guy is, but Moss is black. So that's all I've got for today. Tell me down in the comments your favorite books that have queer people of color. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I upload. I upload every Wednesday except for June for my series Lamado Living, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Bye.